Hi, I'm Dana Bowman hailing. Shit. Depth perception, the name, has a lot of different meanings. Depending on who you talk to in the band, you're going to get a different answer. I like to think it's up to interpretation. For me, it's more or less about the realization that we're mortal, and inevitably death controls the way you live your life, whether you live in fear or whether you're courageous and live life to the fullest. That's what death perception means. Ashes is our third full-length album. This one took about 5 years to write. It was a long process. We had lineup changes, friends bouncing in and out. Death Perception is a live band, so when we go to practice, we practice for live shows. We want to have a killer performance, and we tend to write songs catered to that live show. Writing an album's a little different. You need more dynamics than you would in, a punk rock show or a metal show. So it took some time. Some of these songs are 5 years old. Some of these songs are, written 6 months before we recorded them. What we wanted to do with this album was have kind of a concept album. It's not quite there, but it's got some pretty consistent themes. We talk a lot about death and loss. Some of the lyrics in Ashes have to do with some really personal stuff. Everyone in this band has, lost a friend, lost a family member, and I think it has really taken a toll on us. We put a lot of emotion into the lyrics themselves, and there's a lot of reasons to sing about what we sing. There's some interesting perspectives on this album that we've never really done. In the song Bleed to Death, Kyle had written his lyrics about personal struggles, and he'd written the verses and he sent them to me. He's like, "Hey D, do you think you can write a chorus?" So I sit with it for about a week and I sent it back, and I think he was a little upset with what I had given him. Basically, he's singing about his personal struggles, and I'm talking about murdering somebody. And the whole idea behind that, and I knew very well what he was writing about, was to have that perspective of, in your life, there's always somebody rooting against you. You can be going through anything and they will hate you no matter what. It doesn't matter if you're successful or going through shit. They just always hate on you. So I thought it was kind of almost a sense of irony that he's singing about how terrible his shit is, and I'm singing about making it worse. The artwork for this album was pretty cool. We had stumbled across the work from Stephen Quaidel, I believe that's how you say it, and we fell in love with everything he had done. So we had commissioned a piece from him, and we wanted it to extend from cover to cover, and the idea on it is basically saying goodbye to the past, essentially, and I think he did a really good job at expressing that. Wormhole Death is an awesome label to work with. We were shopping around for a long time, and no one actually offered us anything that was within any benefit to what we wanted to do. And Wormhole did that. They have a really good team, and they're efficient. They're really great. I think it's important to have a record deal if you're serious about playing in a band. And I don't mean like you're a kid and you're dreaming of being in a band. You have to put in the time to do the work. For example, I'm making a video today for this interview. You have to be willing to do the stuff outside of just playing guitar or playing drums or singing in order to make it work. When you have a record deal, there's lots of responsibilities you have to do that aren't necessarily related to music. I've always been into music, and I have this theory that everybody progresses to heavier and heavier music, and it doesn't matter what genre you listen to. If you listen to a band or an artist, generally when the chorus kicks in and it gets a little bit heavier, it's a little rockier, a little more jamming, and I think that everybody likes that. For me, what I had found was I couldn't get enough of that when they kick it up and go into a chorus and it's heavier. I always loved that, breakdowns. And then I realized that you can just do that all the time. And, so I started listening to heavier and heavier bands. I've always been into music. There's actually a video of me in a Jolly Jumper when I'm just a baby, bouncing around a Judas Priest. I loved it. My dad always had Judas Priest or Ozzy, AC/DC blaring on his stereo, and I didn't even know how to dance. I didn't know what I was doing. I would just run around in circles. It was amazing. I think that the biggest change the music industry could use is maybe more of an instruction booklet as to how you actually succeed as a musician. Back in the day, there was, you just play in a band and you did something a little bit different than, your buddy next to you, and all of a sudden you got a record deal and you were famous. Today it doesn't work like that. Everybody's self-promoting online, doing all of this stuff, and as we've grown as a band, we've learned that you have to do all the work yourself. If you want to go on a tour, no one's going to hand you a tour. You have to actually pay your way through it. Your bus costs gas, your food costs money. It's a business. You have to generate money and spend money. I'd wish that we had learned that sooner. Epic fails on stage. When we were a young band, we had just released our first album and we were writing new material, and we came out with the song Ensuing Insanity, and we had played it for about 2 weeks, and then we have this show. It's a Tuesday night at this Toronto bar, and we decide, let's just play it, let's see how it goes. And little did we know, we didn't really know how to play the song yet, so we get up on stage and we start playing it, and our lead guitarist at the time had brought that song in, and we start playing it, and then we don't know where it's going, and then we all look at him, we kind of panic, and he nods his head like, yeah, we got this, shredding away. And then we look at him again and again and again, and the song went on for, it had to be 15 minutes of not knowing what the fuck we were doing. And then we get done the song, and I'm like, thank God. I turn around, I drink my beer, I'm like nervous. The crowd erupts, we're like, woo! And then after the show, people are coming up to us like, wow, that prog song you guys did was amazing. And we're like, no, we fucked it up. And they're like, no, that was really good. I can't believe it. Ginger is really incredible. I like everything they've put out. I'd have to say Slaughter to Prevail is one of my favorite bands right now too. I really wish they did all their lyrics in Russian. It would go a long way. Whitechapel is also another really great band that you've fallen in love with. The local metal scene is pretty dried up right now. COVID's been hard on everybody. A lot of my favorite places to play have been shutting down or are really struggling. It's a tough scene. Generally, the Hamilton metal scene is great. Same with Toronto, lots of friendly people, supportive fans, supportive promoters. All that stuff is really good, but right now with COVID, it's really tough. So when there is shows starting to happen again, please go out, support your artists, spend your money, tip the bartenders. Everybody needs it. We really want to go on tour. We've had some offers from the label to join other bands on European tours. We've had some bands that are our friends, offer us to go on tour through Mexico. We want to go to Texas. Even a Canadian tour would be great. We played in Winnipeg over the summer. That was a really awesome time. But right now with COVID, all that stuff's on hold. So as soon as there's an opportunity to play live, that's what we're doing. In the meantime, we've started working on our next album. We have about 4 or 5 songs that are getting pretty close, and we'll have to start looking at the recording process and figure that out.